Hello, Aiden here. Just excited to show off a website I just finished building. My professor from CSN, Dr. Reka Supermanian, reached out to me and asked me to create a website for her nonprofit, Mythri STEM Academy, where she essentially teaches kids how to build robots and learn a bunch of other cool stuff out of her garage. So before we get too far into what the website actually looks like, I wanted to give a little peek under the hood. So here's my coding environment. I used VS Code. This website is set up to run off of Flask backend. So all of the pages are dynamically routed via Flask. There's also, sensitive information like emails and things like that are all routed this way. That way they're not apparently visible within the browser itself once the website is live. Um, Basic structure, we've got the back end with a couple of CSVs from which data is dynamically populated for the site. This makes it easier to update, and I'll be demonstrating that here in a little bit. Assets, so we've got all of our images, obviously styles. We've got some scripts that I wrote to kind of make the website a little bit more interactive. I'll go through each of these here in a sec. And then our HTML pages. These files down here are related to the Flask serving, so they're kind of not relevant to what you see when you interact with the site. Stepping through the scripts, I'm kind of stoked with them. First thing we have is a dynamic background switcher, which you'll see as I toggle through the pages. We've got some cool backgrounds that kind of switch depending on the page that you're on. Classes dynamically populates the classes on the page where the user can browse through the different sessions available to register for. Contact, this is the form logic for the contact form. A lot of the aspects of the contact form are also dynamically populated using the CSV data. Fallback, that's pretty standard. This is an error catcher so that if the user should happen to hit a 404 page, it's still consistent with My3 branding and it notifies the web developer of what went wrong that caused the user to hit that page. Nav.js, this is just pretty standard navigation menu logic. It also helps with the mobile responsiveness, flipping the nav menu into a hamburger when the browser window is smaller, like on a cell phone. And then registration, again, dynamically populated via CSV. The user can only select classes that match the age group for the child they're registering for. So that logic is contained within here. Now we can go ahead and check out the site itself. I'm using a couple of different monitors here to show this off to you. So we have our home page here with the hero image, a brief description about what My3 actually means. It's a pretty cool word. And 3 calls to action are here at the bottom. When the user clicks it, they're invited to learn more, which takes them to the different classes. They can sign up directly from the home page. I'll be stepping through this form here in a bit. And then there's a donation page, which we'll talk about here as well. From the home screen, you can go to About, Classes. Obviously, talks about the different classes that the students can register for. This, again, is dynamically populated, and I'd like to demonstrate how that works. So right now you can see we have summer camp, robotics team, computer science class, and math class, and environmental science class. But what if I wanted to add an additional class? Well, let's check that out. So this is populated by CSV. So these all point to the different logos that you see, the name of the class, a brief description, and the price of the class. So let's say I wanted to add a gardening class to the classes screen. So we'll say sustainable gardening. And then students learn how to create a sustainable urban garden. And then we'll just do an arbitrary price here, $250. When changes to the CSV are saved, If you go back to the browser and refresh the page, sustainable gardening has been added to the page. So this will make it easy for, administrative staff to make simple updates to the page. They just need to change the CSV and save it, and then make sure that that CSV is the one that's in the package that's being hosted. So that's the classes page. Next we have the bios page, which talks a little bit about my professor, Dr. Subramanian, and Harlow, Reka's assistant. Oh, sorry, going back to the classes page real quick. There is a call to action at the bottom that takes you to the same page, allowing, parents to learn a little bit more about the staff at Mythri STEM Academy. The other functionality on the classes page, these two buttons go to the two forms. So there's an inquiry form for general inquiries, and if the person is ready to register their kid, it goes to the registration form. So, back to bios, talking a little bit about the team, and then at the bottom, another call to action for general inquiries, if folks would like to learn more. So this is the contact page. We're already on it. This form is dynamically populated by CSV, so you can see the sustainable gardening class that we just added shows up here. So as that CSV is changed and different classes become available or taken off, this form will change without needing to edit any of the HTML associated with it. The form has basic validation. We're going to say Kona, that's my doggo, he's my son. And we're going to want to sign him up. He's only in 3rd grade. We're going to want to learn more about the gardening classes or environmental science classes, because Kona's really into that. The submit button is disabled until the parent clicks the consent checkbox. That's just real important, especially when, having a website that collects information potentially about minors. We want to make sure that we have that there. When they hit submit, it does send an email to the person designated in the code as the recipient. I will show that now. So you can see I just received. I'm going to refresh my screen. Oh, it already showed. I always know I was going to refresh it. New Mythri contact form submission. And here's what I asked about. It's got Kona's name in there and everything. No message input by the user. I want to demonstrate that that message functionality real quick. So going back to the browser and filling out some information again. Let's say that I select other. I don't know what's going on with these classes. What summer camps are you doing this year? So the message box only populates if the user selects other. We're going to say I'm asking about Kona again, but he grew in the last 5 minutes. He is now in 9th grade. And I'm resubmitting the form. Confirmation that the message was sent successfully. And then going to my inbox. You can see that it was sent successfully. These forms do have a honeypot trap. This is for, bots, spam bots that effectively crawl your website as soon as it goes live. It's an invisible email field, so if a bot happens to fill in that email field, it does block them from sending an email. Now, it doesn't get 100% of spam that comes through, but using it on my own site, I went from about 15 spam messages a day down to about maybe 3 to 5 a week. So it does drastically reduce the spam traffic using a honeypot like that. Cool. Going back to the browser, it's really important that we have a privacy policy enacted. Again, since we're collecting information within the form about potentially minor children. This is just dummy privacy policy language that I've put in here. It needs to be reviewed and updated and filled with appropriate contact information for people within the organization. But that does exist there, for folks to check out if they're curious about where this data is going. Next is the registration form. This is if they're actually ready to sign up for classes. Now I was informed by program staff that there is a little bit of like an interviewing and vetting process involved. So there's no shopping cart logic or direct payment logic involved in this form. This basically just notifies the program staff that the person is ready to register and they would like to sign up for a specific class. So the user does have to pick a grade, and then the class types from the classes spreadsheet or sessions spreadsheet populate the available classes in these drop-down menus. There's first choice sessions, and the second and third choice only populate if there's more than one choice. So let's see if I can find one that possibly has different choices. Alright, looking at maybe the robotics team has a few. Yep, we've got 3 different ones here, so we can select our first, second, and third choices within here. Again, this form cannot be submitted until they acknowledge that they're the parent, they acknowledge payment is due once the child is accepted into the class, and that the form does not guarantee that the child will be placed in the class. So submitting that form, got confirmation that it was submitted, and then going back to the email window, we can see that the form was successfully submitted. And all of my choices are listed right here. So that's the register form. Oh, before I move on and switch screens again, that data was populated with a sessions spreadsheet, which works exactly the same way as the classes spreadsheet, but this gets a little bit more specific. It tells the type of class, which is, again, based off of what you have under your available classes, and then the specific sessions, the day of the week, as well as the grade level. So that is how that works under the hood. Next, we have the donation page. This particular nonprofit accepts donations through Zelle, and since that's a secure interface and usually done through banks or the Zelle app, we have step-by-step instructions on how to do that. I did include a small form with another honeypot trap. The other one has one too. All of them do. Basically allowing the user to let the staff know that they donated, and then the thought was that once they notified the staff that they donated, the staff can then reach out and then kind of inquire like if they would like their logo featured on the page as a token of gratitude, or perhaps their name, and that's what this section down here is all about. Not sponsored by GitHub or Linux. Those are placeholders for right now. I did include my logo on there because I'm donating the website to this organization, so I think it's pretty cool. Switching back, you can see, just to confirm that the email went through. It does notify that a donation was made. So that is it for the donations page for the most part. I did want to demonstrate, it could be cool if these logos for these sponsors link to their websites. That would be neat. Little kind of way to show gratitude and sponsorship. Closing these out. All right. And then the last page that we have is the feed page. This is a Google Calendar. I set one up just to use for demonstration purposes. I believe I have it here. Yep. So just to show you all what that looks like. We can see it's the 16th right now. I'll go ahead and add an event on the 17th. Where are we? What day is it? All right. We're just gonna say top secret robotics meeting. Save that. And then heading back to the website itself. And refreshing the page. We've got our top secret robotics meeting happening on the 17th. Users can go ahead and subscribe to this and add it to their Google Calendar. Again, I set up a demonstration calendar linked to my Google account. This would be linked to the Google account for the organization. We left a spot for a blog. I just enacted a blog on my page, so that can be pretty easily done with templating and served through Flask. For now, instead, we are using plugins to show social media feeds for Mythri STEM Academy. I think this is called Sociable. Let me double check that. Sociable Kit. That's the plugin I'm using. And it gives you a little bit more leeway with styling than just the straight plugins from the from Meta itself. They like to keep the window super skinny and they want it to match their branding and everything. So Sociable, while it is a plugin, it does help maintain consistent branding. So these go directly to their socials. If you clicked on them, it'll link to their social media. We also have social links up here in the navigation. So there's that. It's taking a second to load. There we go. So that pretty much wraps the demonstration of the website. This was a cool project. I was really excited to do it. The other thing I kind of wanted to throw out there is all the logo assets that you see here on the site. Those were designed by me in Adobe Illustrator. So I really got a lot out of this project because it helped me stretch my legs with graphic design. I've done my own branding, but it was awesome to do it for somebody else. And yeah, any questions about it? Reach out to me, and I hope you like the site so far.